Gideon Channing scanned the crowd through the monitors, looking for any signs of trouble. It was his job to make sure that all the shifters, humans and vampires, mingled well together. No one had ever been injured or forced to do anything since the opening of his place, Silver Bullet, and as owner and Pack Alpha, he planned on keeping it that way. From his office, located above the club, Gideon couldn't hear the pounding music, but he could enjoy the view. Sitting back, he watched gorgeous, half-naked men gyrating across the dance floor. Rubbing against each other, they created a sea of delicious, sweaty flesh. His pack of red wolves had changed so much over the years, and he was content with the way things were. Before his father became the alpha, the wolves had been ruled with an iron fist. Members of the pack were punished and put to death for whatever infraction the tyrant of an alpha considered to be disgraceful or wrong. Families were broken apart, children slaughtered for stepping out of line, and men and women were held to different standards. He could still remember the night when he came clean and told his father he preferred men. He didn't expect the man to accept him as easily as he had, with open arms. That same night, his father told him a heartbreaking story about an uncle he never knew existed. The man had been killed for his sexual preferences, murdered, before his father was old enough and strong enough to step in and fight. Since then, his father felt guilty over the loss of his older brother, a man that, from what Gideon heard, he resembled in a lot of ways. When he took the reins from his father, the few families that remained went with his parents to Europe. Now, his pack consisted of gay men, a haven for anyone that needed a safe place in honor of the uncle he never knew. Some of the men he'd grown up with, and others found and joined them over the years. Their numbers were growing, and he always welcomed anyone who needed a place to call home. The club's success could be attributed to the entire pack and their hard work. The Silver Bullet had become well known for catering to everyone and their tastes, whether conservative or wildly kinky. The large profits not only helped them all live a life of luxury, it also paved the way for the younger members to further their education. College and traveling were important elements in a young pup's life, and he didn't want any mistakes closing this place down. Ever since the paranormal world had been exposed to humankind, years ago, they'd lived in relatively peaceful conditions. There were rogues, but they were policed closely by a group called FPA, or Federal Paranormal Agency. The paranormals couldn't be blamed for everything. Humans committed crimes and killed all the time. There were radical groups also known as para-haters out there, but their numbers were small and Gideon's pack hadn't had any problems with them for a while. Wherever those troublemakers were, he was glad they weren't in New Orleans, harassing his pack. After humankind got over the shock that shifters and vampires were real and not a myth, most humans became curious about paranormals. Over time, humans started trusting that they weren't in any danger. Gideon named the club Silver Bullet as a little joke since many humans believed that shifters or werewolves could only be killed with silver. He wouldn't confirm or deny that rumor. Gideon's hope was that the Silver Bullet would bring everyone together, paranormals and humans alike. Having a club was also a good excuse to help his pack find their mates. He'd been searching for his own far too long, in his opinion. At 35, he was ready to settle down with a good man by his side. Scanning each screen, he watched his employees for a few minutes before checking each dark corner, the dance floors, and even the private rooms. Security and safety would always be his top priority. Everyone coming inside his club knew that, and all the players agreed to the discreet surveillance. It was one of the reasons they were always busy. The other was due to the fact that they were the hottest gay club in the state, and quite possibly the country. The Silver Bullet was a sprawling building, almost a block long, in the Warehouse District in New Orleans, Louisiana. It was a well-known hangout and attracted lots of different clientele. Luckily, they could accommodate everyone's tastes. From quiet, relaxing atmospheres to extreme forms of BDSM, the club had it all. Gideon made sure to do his homework before opening. He wanted this place to be the go-to for paranormals and humans alike. The sprawling club was cut up into different mini-clubs, some more private and exclusive than others. In fact, in order to get into the dungeon, Each member needed a background check and a psych evaluation.